Hello everybody. I'm currently uploading a video that I did before I did this that explains to you that I went on a back road and I gathered me a bunch more lactuca. Now this is all canadensis. It's large stalks, and I stressed in that video that if you cut the stalk instead of digging it up by the root, you're going to have continual harvest because the plant will put out more stalks with more leaves, and you will be able to gather off of it, harvest off of it for up to October. The plants that I had gathered off of before, because I have visited the same place again. It was an old abandoned house. The house had been removed. You could see the foundation. And I'm going to have to get something different. Well, for right now, this is just going to have to work. I got me a mesh laundry bag. My friend Paul got one like this, and that's what he dries his leaves in. And everybody sends me these wonderful ideas and messages. It just pleases me so much. But if you'll see, I am just ripping the leaves off. Now what I'm going to be doing, I went out and got me 2 more pots, but I want you to see this sap, how it's running. Every place I'm pulling from a leaf, you see that running. So if we leave these plants in the ground, they will set more stalks, and then the next month we have another harvest. Now, this is very important for those of you that have had car wrecks and have chronic pain, or are aging, or are addicts. I have gotten so many messages from addicts that are trying so hard to break their addiction. And most of the time the way they got addicted was because they may have just had a minor injury even, and the doctor put them on opiates, and then the next thing you know, they're craving it. Now that goes to the biochemistry of people, the biochemistry in their brain, as well as in their body, how their gut uptakes things, how that is processed by the neurotransmitters and the neuroreceptors, and how some medications even alter the way that your brain is structured and creates new pathways, so that then you want that chemical that enhances that pathway. Now, y'all know I've been reading a lot on these medical studies, and I'm learning so much. I want to share as much as I can with y'all, because one of the things, and I wanted to talk about this again, there are videos out there on Facebook about the wild lettuce, and they make a big deal about calling it opium lettuce, and that is a wrong name. This has no opiates in it. It only a very little bit acts like opium. It can make you have vivid dreams that are very colorful and psychedelic almost. But I enjoy those dreams because it's like my brain is performing a defrag, and it's putting all my bits and pieces that I've experienced through the day together, so that it is more, so I don't wake up feeling like there's a burden on me or anything. And a lot of times it acts kind of like in the way that peyote does, in that you get dreams that inspire you, that give you insight into things deeper in your mind. Good things. So far I haven't had any bad things. And if it was gonna make you have bad things, I'd be the person that it would do it to, because I've had some horrific things happen in my life and witnessed terrible things. So, but it doesn't do that. It almost taps into a more joyful place, and maybe that is the basics of personality. Even maybe if you're prone to dwell on negative things, maybe it would do that. But I dwell on positive things. That's how I've made it this far. And so the calling it opium in any way, shape, or form is just a misnomer, and it doesn't help anything at all, except it makes for clickbait, and people click on those videos thinking that it's going to be a plant that's like opium, and then it's not. I think a lot of times when I see people commenting that the plant didn't give them relief like they thought it would, a lot of times I think it's because they thought it would be like an opiate. Like, I've taken codeine before, and Percocets and Lortabs. I've had spinal surgeries and all kinds of surgeries, and that's what they give you. But it's not like that. So I think that people go, well, it didn't work for me. Well, it's not about just the pain relief. It is about the healing that also goes on inside of the body. Now, all of those lactocarium, lactocopacan, and lactucin are pain relievers, and that has been proven, and I've put the links up many different places on the scientific studies for that. And but the other thing is the hyoscyamine in it. It's an antispasmodic. So that works in ways that are such a variety. Okay, let's take migraines, for example. Migraines are caused by a constriction and dilation of your blood vessels, and that's what causes it. Sometimes it's a rapid onset of that, and doctors don't even a lot of times really know why some people are prone to migraines and some aren't. But the antispasmodic in the wild lettuce then can counteract that constricting and back and forth. Okay, so it works on that, so your blood vessels are then staying open and not going back and forth. So then you're relieved of that pain. Now, there's other things that are vascular related that have to do with spasms. There's irritable bowel, and many intestinal diseases that have to do with spasms throughout the digestive tract. So this plant relieves that. Okay, I have asthma. That is from the bronchial tubes constricting. Now there's also a secondary effect of having too much mucus, and then that flooding your bronchial tubes, and so that's what makes asthmatics also prone to pneumonia. So when you take this within the mullein, that is an expectorant, and mullein is also a pain reliever, not on the level that the wild lettuce is, but it is a pain reliever. So taking those two things together then rid me of COPD, chronic asthma. I used to have reflux issues, no longer have that. I did have irritable bowel at one time, no longer have that. I had digestive issues where my stomach was just very sensitive. No longer have that. And then we've got this effect of the plant that is caused by the, here we go with this word, sesquiterpenes. See, I'm getting it good, y'all. And that oxygenates the blood. Okay, that's a very important component of rebuilding cells. So that is what this plant does. And so I want to make sure that people have good information on this plant because it's a very important plant. And y'all, as I've told you before, it's still used in every other country. It's used all over the world by medical professionals, by doctors, by pharmacies. It's used, but it's not in America. So there are many reasons for that, and y'all are all real bright, smart people, and I don't have to tell you why that is, but that is why if you have these ailments, chronic or just short term, or if you just want to improve your health, okay, we've talked about before, polyphenols, these dark bitter greens right here, they're full of polyphenols. Now when I was talking to my daughter, she was kind of explaining to me in lay terms that polyphenols are kind of like a skin. Let's think of it in terms of like an armor, a protectant. So what the polyphenols do is it boosts your immunity, so it builds like an immunity armor in your body so that you can fight diseases and chronic illnesses, and makes you an all-around healthier person. So this plant does all that. I would just rather call it a miracle plant, very frankly, than to even call it wild lettuce. But I do call it wild lettuce. Now, what I was going to say about the other YouTube channels, I have seen a few. Most of them don't get into the science like I do, and I do that for y'all's benefit so that you can learn and you can share this information. But one of the ones that I saw was talking about that this lettuce is the same as the grocery store lettuce. Well, it's not anymore. Once upon a time it was, but it's not anymore. So we have to remember that this one hadn't been messed with. Man hasn't messed with this, and I don't want to mess with it. I don't want to be hybridizing. I could care less about crossing the species. I don't care if the leaves are curly, or if they're bright yellow, or if they're dark green, or if they're short and round, or if they're long and pointy. What I care about is the nutritional and medicinal value in these leaves. And I know from the post that I read from y'all, the threads, the emails, all the comments, and again, y'all, I'm still upset because I can't give hearts all the time. And I want to give hearts all the time. There's very rarely that I don't want to give a heart. And so it's very important, like I said, for us to be talking about this correctly and not getting it confused, because this plant is not like the grocery store lettuce. Now, for example, let's just go on and test that theory. We've got the product we can test it with. I don't know if any of y'all got lettuce in your freezer or refrigerator. I don't anymore. Okay. Does milk sap come out of your leaves? I'm sorry. Does milk sap come out of your leaves, your lettuce leaves from the grocery store? No. It doesn't, because it's been bred out. People didn't want bitter greens. People normally don't enjoy a bitter flavor, and I used to not. I do now. I almost crave it now. I even like spinach and kale now. I like a stronger flavored food than I used to, because now it's like my body knows that that's the better thing for me. And what scientists are doing with the kale and the spinach and those other greens that are in the grocery store, like arugula and collards, they're trying to breed the polyphenols out so that it increases consumption based on the fact that they're not bitter anymore. So that's not a good thing. That's going to affect our immunity boosting. So I'm going to finish pulling my leaves. Let me do this stalk, and then I'm going to show you how much I've got in this bag over here. And I can't remember if I said, but y'all, I went to Walmart and got me 2 more of them big pots. Okay. This laundry bag is almost full. So I'm going to stop right now, and I'm going to shake it around, and I am going to carry it in the house, and then I'm going to come out and do some more. Until next time, goodbye.